Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today, I'm going to tell you a story. So, we had a tornado warning when I was in class. I heard the sirens, which I used to live, at home. I live in the country, so we don't really hear the sirens. And then they run them at like noon on either Mondays or Fridays, I can't remember which one, in my hometown because I don't really know why, just kind of a test, I guess. So I heard the sirens and I was like freaking out, and I was staring towards the window, which is where the sirens were coming from, and the professor still kept teaching and everything. I guess they didn't hear him, I don't know. But I was like panicking. I was like, oh my gosh, the sirens are going off. So we get out of class, and my phone had rung twice in class, and the professor, the first time he didn't do anything, the second time he was like, alright, whose phone is that? And I was like, it's mine, sorry. And he was cool with it, but because I don't want to turn mine off during class, just because I can't be like the other students and get text messages and then make it silent. I have a like old flip phone kind of thing that talks, and so there's no way to really silence that except to turn it off. So I had that on. It went off in class. They asked why, and I said sorry, and then that was the end. So I'm walking out the door, and everyone else is like happy. They're just running around being all happy, and I'm like, gosh, do you not feel the air? It just felt like really thick, like horrible thickness, like heaviness, and it smelled like it was gonna be bad weather. Like it just had a different smell in the air. And so I was walking, and I was praying the whole time. I was like, okay, God, so help me get to a building, because I don't want to be stuck out here in a tornado. Well, then I got to the building, which literally I was running practically, and there was all kinds of puddles. I wore my rain boots today, so I was slow going because I couldn't feel the ground, but I was also trying to hurry because I knew that it was going to come. You could just tell I had a headache from it, and so I got to the building, and I went to the disability office. Those people are awesome there. And about that time, we got a alert that said, hey, there's a tornado, take shelter now. Tornado warning, take shelter now. So we're running down. We're not really running. We're walking quickly. I was calmer at this point than I am during a fire drill because it wasn't so loud, and I could focus on what I was doing. And trust me, I had to focus because going downstairs in rain boots that are 2 sizes too big and the stairs are really unfamiliar is difficult. And plus, you're panicking from, not wanting to die. Because I kept thinking, okay, if there's a tornado right now, we're going to get crushed in this stairwell. So we're down the stairs. We go into the basement of this building, and it's, like, huge. There's, like, classes down there, which I didn't know that there was classrooms off the basement, but apparently there is. And so we're down there, we're just hanging out. There's, like, a ton of people. So I was kind of a little bit claustrophobic because of the people, but I was okay. I had people around me so that I knew, so I was calmer. The sirens, I couldn't hear them in the basement, so it was nice. Then we just sat there, hung out pretty much, and talked. And then eventually they said we could go. Like probably 2 hours later, we went back upstairs, went to our classes, all that. And then I was walking out of my class to go to lunch, and there was not too bad winds, but the puddles were huge. I was like, oh my gosh. So walking through the puddles, that was fun. And then I went to lunch, came back out. I had some stuff I had to carry with me, like some extra food. And I was walking back to the dorm from the main food area place, and there was so much wind I had to literally stop because I knew that if I kept going, my cane would either blow out of my hand or I would fall over because it was pulling me backwards pretty much. And so if the wind's, it was kind of pulling me backwards and to the left, so I kept trying to compensate by going to the right, but that's really hard because I tried not to veer, but I also tried to walk a straight line, which is impossible. So literally I had to stop. Like I would be walking a couple steps, stop, for about to walk another, So I'm pretty sure people were staring at me and asking if I was okay. They never said anything to me, but pretty sure they were a little worried because, like, why is this blind girl just standing there, But also at the same time, it was really sunny. So I was getting a little bit on the edges of a migraine because it was sunny and I don't have a hat. I just have glasses. I'm going to get a hat hopefully tonight, and I don't care what side of people think. I'm going to pull it over my eyes because the sun is painful. So I was dealing with trying to not have a migraine and trying to keep track of where I was, because sometimes if I get really bad ones, I can't remember exactly how to get to a specific place or how to not only get there, but what to do to get there. Even sometimes if it's really bad, what place I'm going to. Like, I'll forget literally where I'm going. I'll just be like, why am I walking here? But this one wasn't that bad. It was just a tiny, small one. So I was still aware, but I knew I had to concentrate on walking. So I had the wind, the sun, and then I had people kind of walking in front of me a little bit, so I had to watch out for them. And I couldn't really hear because the wind made it hard to hear the cars. And I have rain boots on, like I said, so I can't really feel the ground very well. I have a rigid cane, my straight rigid cane with the rolling tip, so that makes it a little bit more difficult because it's not my usual tip that I use. So everything feels different. And plus it's rained, like, solidly for several hours. Luckily at that point when I was walking back, it hadn't rained, or it wasn't raining. And so whenever it's water, it makes echoes and everything sound totally different. So it was a challenge. So one of my biggest fears personally is, like, what would I do if I were outside on campus and there was a tornado? And I don't know honestly what I would do. I mean, I know I would probably go find a building somewhere, but just the idea of being in an unfamiliar place, that would really scare me. Being blind, not knowing where you're going, and just being a cane user, because literally the tornado, warning, I guess it came through this area, which I was in the basement, I don't know, but the winds got really high, and I guess up to like 60 miles an hour, all that stuff. So I was gonna make this video and give you advice if you're blind on how to deal with storms and what to do, but I can't because I don't know. I mean, obviously you just go to the nearest place, but you have to remember exactly how to get there, how to get back. If, like this morning, I was trying to avoid the puddles. Stupid idea, because one, I have rain boots on, so it'll be okay. But two, every time you avoid the puddles, you have to memorize how many steps you walked away from whatever landmark it was, and then turn back to it. And that's extremely difficult for me, just because the puddles are just huge sometimes, and so if you forget that step, you don't return exactly to your place. It's hard to kind of figure out where you are and get your bearings to keep going. And so I struggle with that. I'm getting better as time passes. But definitely if you're in an unfamiliar place, hopefully if there's sighted people around, they will assist you, because trust me, sighted people, we don't want to be in a tornado any more than you do. So, and using a cane in a tornado or windy conditions is extremely hard, because one, you can't hear anything around you because the wind's like howling in your ears, and like it can blow your cane out of your hand, so you kind of have to fight against that. And then you have to remember the wind's pushing you, so you have to account for veering, and it's just really hard. So literally every time I crossed the driveway, I was like, okay, God, help me do this, come on. And I walked it, and I did okay. I veered into the street at one point, and then one time I veered into like the gravel between driveways. but I was able to figure it out, even though I did have a split second panic because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in the street. But then I was like, okay, well, it's windy. And I said, I have all these reasons why I would be in the street. And for the people that were watching me, I don't care what they thought because, it was plainly clear I was kind of struggling to get here. So that's my story for today. Thank you all for watching, and subscribe if you want. This is just my channel with blindness related videos and the blind college student experience. So if you subscribe to my channel, thank you. If you saw me and you're like, no, thank you, go check out, there's other blind college students on YouTube. Jessica Karam, I believe is how it's pronounced. And then there's Joy Who, and I'm trying to think of others. I know Molly Burke's not a college student, but she is blind. She's about, I think she's like 20 something. So go check her out too. She's all into fashion, so I'm not into fashion, obviously. I don't do makeup videos and all that. But Molly Burke is into fashion, so go check her out, and thank you for watching.